Hey, this is Aaron Price, the CEO of Tech United New Jersey. It is great to see you. I hope you're enjoying your summer. You may have noticed it's been a little hot. There's a lot of talk about climate change, and Tech United has teamed up with PSEG to see what we can do to bring technology into the fold to advance early stage companies to see how they're addressing sustainability, energy, and climate. And here to join me today, not just really to talk about the heat, but to talk about this initiative, Angela Ortiz, the Director of ESG and Sustainability at PSEG. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Likewise, Aaron. How are you?
I'm doing well. How's summer going?
It is going. It's too short for me, but it is good. Thank you.
I think it should be like a 6-month summer, right? That's kind of what we should change it. From where are you? I'm in Hoboken, New Jersey, as you may be able to tell by this very fancy home office. Where are you joining us from today?
My home office in New York. Yeah, I'm in Staten Island, New York.
All right. Well, we won't hold that against you, but I know you visit New Jersy frequently.
That's holds a where special my place office is. Yes,
in your heart. For people who are unaware of the, we shared your title earlier, but what does that really mean? What really is your role at PSEG?
So I do a lot of different and exciting things for PS, but basically I support the development and implementation of all the company-wide sustainability program, and to further advance the company's industry leadership position. My team and I are ensuring the sustainability initiatives enhance PSEG performance and lead to shareholder and stakeholder value. That's basically it.
It's been a pretty hot moment for ESG and sustainability. How has your role evolved over the last few years?
Oh, it has evolved significantly. The relevance from an internal perspective, the fact that our board of directors now oversees ESG and climate change since 2018, that our shareholders do ask questions specifically related to climate change, ESG. Our stakeholders in general are now paying more attention to it. So it has been a challenge, but extremely exciting. Be careful what you wish for, some people say.
Well, we're often talking about how we can drive impact in the community, and we've done a lot of work. I'm quite proud of with PSEG over the last 3 years. But for those who may be new to the audience or audience that's new to this messaging, can you share a little bit about how PSEG makes an impact, how it thinks about environmental sustainability and ESG? What am I leaving out here? What's the G?
Governance.
Oh, governance, right. Yeah, a good thing to have had. It's okay. Sorry. You go live, you miss some of these acronyms. But how PSEG thinks about these issues, and how it also helps you, in your own career, in having an impact in society, how you think about where PSEG can be significant and authentic in that pursuit.
Right. And we have 2 hours for that, right? So across the social and governance topics, we move the needle constantly, and we could dedicate sessions to each of them. From a decarbonization, from the E perspective and decarbonization perspective, we have, for example, shut down more than 4,000 megawatts of fossil fuel plants, coal, gas, and oil. We sold the rest of our gas plants and finalized those agreements at the beginning of the year. We work with regulators constantly to look for solutions, to be able to help our customers use less electricity and less gas, which is, counterintuitive when you think about a business perspective. But we have, through business, different components of our very progressive clean energy program. We look inside our own business and an operation to reduce the impact, to protect our assets, infrastructure from extreme weather events, to think about reliability and thinking about our customers again. We have leading practices, a track record in terms of our protection to biodiversity, partnering with key stakeholders to protect and minimize the impact of environmental. And obviously, we have put out, very bold GHG reduction commitments since the 90s. In 2019, we announced our first net zero goal, which was progressive at the time, 2050, just for scope 1 emissions, the direct emissions. Last year, we accelerated that net zero by 20 years and added scopes 1 and 2. And finally, last year, we announced that we signed up to the Race to Zero campaign, which is a United Nations supported campaign for leaders in this space.
So let's talk about the Race to Zero for a moment. What does this mean for New Jersey and really for society as companies make this commitment?
So the Race to Zero campaign is a global campaign to rally leadership and support from businesses, cities, investors to look for alternatives, to look for a resilient and consistent zero carbon pathways that creates jobs, that unlock sustainable development, and so on. So it mobilizes different type of coalitions. What we did was to sign through the Business Ambition from 1.5C campaign, which is a campaign led by the Science Based Target Initiative and in partnership with the UN Global Compact. So basically, we committed to set science-based targets for all the scopes of our emission portfolio by September of 2023. We're putting science behind it. We are understanding all the needs from a policy perspective, technology perspective, what are the enablers that need to happen in order to fulfill and be consistent with the ambition, which is to limit global warming to 1.5C. So it is a challenge, but we wanted to put a stick in the ground in leading the industry and help the state achieve its own greenhouse gas targets.
I'm wondering if you have friends and family who ever say to you, like, does this really matter? Who are maybe not believers in the science on this. And what do you say to some of those folks?
Oh, all the time. Yeah, I have a father that worked in the oil industry for years. So yes, I do. The basic change in terms of how to approach climate change, if we think about it, it is that it is a systemic problem. It regardless of whether you believe that we are causing it, personally, it is not an isolated series of events that one person, one region, one industry's responsibility. It is happening. The pandemic made us realize how vulnerable we are and we can be, and how cohesive approach to systemic risks and threats are needed. It's happening, period. The impacts of the progressive change in climate are here. Their weather patterns, and whether you're worried about how uncomfortable your summer is in Europe or how vulnerable some particular communities are, there's action that needs to happen. So I think with that mindset, it's not longer questioning whether it's happening or not. It's how are we looking for the solution, because we all need a solution, not only us in the utility industry, not only Angela because she wants to save, polar bears. It is a systemic risk that is affecting us all.
Has the political environment of the last, even just say decade, made it a more challenging place to work, a more exciting place to be because it gets more attention? How have the politics of this affected your goals?
So I'm gonna respond as Angela Ortiz from my own career, so I don't get in trouble for this, but it definitely affects. And with the last administration in Washington, I thought personally, oh, this is it. There was a very clear sign from Washington that climate change wasn't going to be at the forefront, that ESG topics, environmental topics were not a priority. However, what we saw was the other entities and stakeholders, like the financial community, said, wait, it doesn't matter what happens in Washington. We're here to make sure that you guys are still committed, that you're disclosing, that you're true to what you said you were going to. This is a risk that affects us financially, and it just changed the discussion, and it actually made it better. So I think it got to a point where, regardless of the political spectrum, it is a reality, and it needs to be navigated in a different way. But the way it has progressed, there is no way back.
Yeah. And to be clear, if I ask questions that make you uncomfortable on the corporate ad, you're welcome to just say we can pass on those. Yeah. I'm not trying to. There's no gotcha moments here. You shared a few of these a little bit earlier, but can you speak a little bit more towards how PSEG has committed towards decarbonization and sustainability, and in particular, sort of in the New Jersey region? How does this show up?
So of course, all those targets that I have mentioned are aligned with the commitments of reducing climate change from a regional perspective, and how we are contributing to by the energy master plan, and contributing to the greenhouse gas reduction plans that the governor has. So, and we help also individual customers achieve those goals. So when we talk about energy efficiency programs and the investments we do on that, that helps our particular customers, large customers, industrial customers, reduce their own impact as well. The supporting the existence of the nuclear plants, for example, it's one of the other angles where we are being very vocal in terms of the continuation of the existence of the plants, of the relevance of the plants when we think about climate change, because of the relevance from a regional perspective. We need those plants in order to achieve those goals. That is clean energy that is being delivered to communities in New Jersey and the region.
Which is a great transition to our Better Planet program and the partnership with PSEG and Tech United that I'm very proud that we've been able to continue over the past few years.
Yep.
This year, with the focus on companies that are advancing adoption of decarbonization, that are advancing alternative to fossil fuels. Before we get into this year's program in general, what's been your experience? Have there been any eye-opening moments in working with Tech United, some of the companies that we've introduced to the PSEG? Have you found that there's an appetite and an interest in working with the startup community, and how has that changed or advanced the perspective with PSEG?
So it is fascinating because we are a very traditional industry. We have technology that it's been used for decades, and it works. Yes, absolutely works. But listening to the creativity and the innovative ideas of the tech community has been eye-opening. We can do this better by doing X. Part of the issue we have today, as I was saying, in terms of the systemic approach to fixing or the problem with climate change or achieving our goals, is the fact that not all the technology enablers that are needed are there. So, and some people just gave up. Okay, so the technology is not affordable. You cannot deploy it. There is no solution. Just move on. But that is exactly the key, and why the tech community is needed, because that is exactly what we need to do today. We need to start changing our thinking hats and say, oh wait, we can solve this problem by doing X. We can replace this technology with this and other one. We can look for innovative solutions to the policy enablers that are not even crystallized yet. So in that sense, it's been great to open our eyes to what's out there, listening to the new ideas. It's just fascinating. So we've been very fortunate to have you guys involved in the conversation, and I can't wait to hear what else will come out this year.
Likewise, Paul, I see your question on LinkedIn, and others were, whether you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, drop your comments and we'll try to weave them in. Paul, you have a very specific question here, so that I'll share it. I don't think Angela can answer it, but it does represent the value prop that we look to bring to the community, which is how can we accelerate relationships, opportunities, pilot programs with early stage companies? It's by accelerating these relationships. That's exactly the role that we would like to play with Tech United. So I'll read you Angela's question, and if you can answer, you're welcome to, but I think more so it's, we can try to get this in the right hands. He asked,
yep.
We're working on dispatchability for distributed storage and generation, looking for assets 100 kilowatts and larger we can use for a pilot project, showing we can bridge PJM's Jetstream system with assets that use an API gateway. So that's a very specific request. I don't think you'll be able to answer it, but it does represent the point here. I hope, Paul, you'll apply to the Better Planet challenge at techunited.co/betterplanet, because I have been the entrepreneur who has struggled to get in the doors at a large corporation. So it's very exciting to be able to see a question like this from Paul and the hundreds of applications we've had to this program over the years, and help bridge those relationships, because we think we can help build business and do good for the planet in the process. So, Angela, I'm assuming you can't answer that or respond to that. Is that accurate?
Okay, that is accurate. I can't answer that.
But it does represent the point here, is how can we make sure that people like Paul get the attention, especially with a large corporate like PSEG that's got its hands full, so that he has a shot of at least getting the right audience, and we can accelerate that relationship. So
that's correct.
Again, apply at techunited.co/betterplanet. What are some of the things that you would hope to see? What are some of the things? Great. I see Paul said that he has applied. That you would hope to see come out of the tech community this year. Are there any technologies or industries, applications that you've seen that you get excited about that you're hoping that we'll see some focus around?
I don't have one specific. No. There are several alternatives. We're looking at the whole plethora of options that will help us achieve our goals and work in the right direction in a decarbonization pathways. So from alternative fuels all the way to storage and everything in between will be interesting to just see availability in the Northeast and other type of constraints that we have faced and have just completely shot the idea out. If any of these will open a door to options, that would be fantastic. But no, not married to one specific technology, open to all the ideas. That's the beauty of the program and the challenge.
I totally agree. And to be clear, Ralph Vizzo, the CEO of PSEG, has joined the board of Tech United New Jersey. There is a serious commitment from leadership like Angela and others at PSEG to accelerate early stage companies through the energy industry, and how PSEG can play a role in that deployment. So I can't stress enough, again, having been the entrepreneur, trying to get in the doors of large corporates can be a very challenging or just time-consuming process. Yep. This is a fast track to people who really will pay attention, care. And by the way, besides fast tracking the potential pilot or evaluation, there's a $50,000 prize that we're giving away, no strings attached, mentorship from PSEG folks and others, press opportunities, and quite a bit more. How significant is it, do you think, to have the buy-in of the CEO of the organization to drive these kinds of partnerships, and to welcome in what could be perceived to be sometimes risky partnerships?
Oh, it's absolutely key, and Ralph and the leadership of PSEG has been extremely supportive, and having the guidance and the inspiration from the top it's absolutely key for someone like me trying to change the world from within all the way to down to the almost 13,000 employees. But in terms of enhancing or looking for the partnership, that also is great to see that there is an appetite to learn from the world outside, that we're not in a ivory tower silo, so to speak, there just looking at our own problems, but that we are actually looking to enable economy-wide decarbonization and looking for solutions to societal problems in general. So I can stress how important that is, and how fortunate we are to have that leadership at PSEG.
I share that appreciation, and Ralph has been a real champion on the partnership and the relationship with PSEG and Tech United, and we're grateful for it, and grateful to have to be able to work with you over the past few years and others around the table. So it's been a real pleasure. Right. Again, if you are working on anything related to decarbonization, the advancement of replacement of fossil fuels, apply at techunited.co/betterplanet. techunited.co/betterplanet. The applications close this Friday. It's pretty competitive, but it's a fantastic opportunity to advance your business in front of the right audience. Angela, I very much appreciate you joining us today. As I believe we end with our classic high fives. So the count of three, you got to high five the camera. 1, 2, 3, boom. I hope to see you on our side of the river in the near future. I hope to see you at Propelify October 6th. For those who haven't registered yet, propelify.com, get your ticket. I believe you'll see Angela there. I know you'll see I believe Ralph Izzo and Ralph LaRosa will both be making an appearance this year.
I hope so. Yes, absolutely.
I think so.
There. Yes.
Excellent. I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great rest of your summer. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.